Alistair Cook and Nick Browne set a record opening partnership as Essex hammered Middlesex on day 3 at Chelmsford. With all of day 2 lost to rain, Essex resumed on day 3 on 106 for no wicket in their first innings, with Cook not out 64 and Browne not out 40. The opening pair took time to find their feet as Middlesex came close to claiming both men early in the session. A few sighters for Cook though, and he'd found his touch. Browne, however, was still struggling to get them away, Roland Jones growing frustrated that his probing line and length wasn't reaping the rewards. Cook continued to prosper as he moved towards 100, and when Browne finally found the middle of the bat, he brought up a half-century of his own. There was no respite for Middlesex as Cook took back-to-back boundaries off England teammate Finn, a change to round the wicket, having little impact. Cook then brought up his 100 with a single off Higgins, the 32-year-old now averaging a century every 3.5 county championship innings since the beginning of 2016, better than any other player. Cook continued to pile on the runs whilst partner Browne continued to ride his luck, first playing and missing at one from Higgins, before then surviving a huge appeal, Higgins confident he had his man, the umpire unmoved. Despite the close calls, Browne continued to press towards 100, and as his partnership with Cook passed 210, it became the highest opening partnership for Essex against Middlesex. Whilst never looking entirely comfortable, Browne survived the session, going to tea on 97 not out, Cook unbeaten on 125, Essex batting out a wicketless session to be 226 for naught at the break. It didn't take long for Browne to bring up his 100 after the interval. The opener moved to 3 figures with a boundary off Sterling. Cook and Browne then started to up the ante as the visitors' desperate search for a wicket continued. The opening pair pummeled the Middlesex attack to all corners of the Chelmsford ground as Cook went past 150 and the opening partnership reached 300. Then, in the 92nd wicketless over of the innings, Cook and Browne set a new record opening partnership for Essex, surpassing the 316 set by Graham Gooch and Paul Pritchard on the same ground all the way back in 1994. Having reached the landmark, the pair just powered on, Browne's 150 the next milestone to be reached. 403 was the next target for the pair, the highest partnership for any wicket in Essex's history, and they looked set to break that record when Middlesex finally had a wicket. Cook out-caught Ashkenazi bowled Rayner for 193. Chopra joined Browne after the dinner break and the pair went on the attack. Browne raced towards his double 100, a milestone he brought up with a single off Milan, the 26-year-old giving England selectors plenty to think about ahead of the upcoming first test with South Africa. Chopra was playing his part at the other end as he heaped more misery on Middlesex with a runnable 50. Browne and Chopra put on 129 for the second wicket from just 99 balls. Browne's magnificent innings was finally ended on 221. Having waited 120 overs for a bat, Dan Lawrence lasted just 5 balls, but with a lead of 257, Essex were merely chasing quick runs with a declaration in sight. And it was quick runs that Varun Chopra duly delivered, the 30-year-old galloping to 100 from just 74 deliveries. Essex declared shortly afterwards on 542 for 3, and what a batting card it was for the hosts, with the top 3 all reaching triple figures and Browne going on to a double 100. The lead was 296, leaving Middlesex with a tricky 12 overs to negotiate under the lights before stumps. Openers Gubbins and Compton were up to the task though, steering the visitors to close on 27 without loss. Essex's record-breaking day with the bat secured them a 269-run lead heading into day 4, and Middlesex will have it all to do on the final day if they're to avoid defeat.